This episode is brought to you by Voco Hotels by IHG, where you should prepare to be charmed. From Chicago to Myrtle Beach to Saranac Lake, each Voco in the U.S. has its own local flavor and unique detail. Our hosts welcome you with little extras, and you'll find rooms for catching up on me time and full-service bars and restaurants that are perfect for us time. Come on in and live the Voco life and book your next stay at vocohotels.com. VOCO hotels.com.
Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 125,000 bonus miles for a limited time through October 29th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends October 29th, 2025.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by two veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
So slipped and fell into a deep black hole. I can tell you're lost. I'm here for you.
Woo! Misfit Nation, it's the heart of October. And while the temps outside are dropping, the crew is heating up. We're halfway through the month, and the stores are getting colder and bolder. The guests are getting hotter, realer, and the energy is hot. You have what time it is. Time to crank up the volume. Crank a cold one. Ride that Misfit wave. So let's light it up for the unstoppable duo, the masters of mayhem, the money man on the mic, Steven and Jake, the ToosDay Crue.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
I am good. Hey, I want to take just a minute. First of all, thank everybody to be here. And tomorrow marks a monumental day. Myself and Mrs. Holland are going to be celebrating 19 years.
Fantastic. 19 years.
19 years. And I know that makes me a rookie with you and Rich, but hey, it is what it is.
It works.
Hey, I had a couple practice ones in there.
Yeah.
How was your day off?
You've lasted this one 19, so this is fantastic.
Yes.
My day off was good. I did the usual BS, shopping, laundry, stuff like that.
cool deal. I went and last week, Mrs. Holland purchased me a work bed for my pickup truck, and I had it loaded on my trailer. So I took it over and unloaded it and got it onto a car lift. So now all I got to do is rip my old bed off, back under it, weld this thing on.
Sure.
So we're good with that. So,
well, Rich usually starts the show off with End of Watch for Police. And, that's like, it's horrible in my mind. It's all we talk about is the deaths and stuff like that. I found an article the other day, and I'm going to find one every week now. I have an officer, Jonathan Verity, from Suffolk County, New York. It was a stormy day on the highway. A car pulled over. It was a young couple having a baby. Couldn't wait for the medics to get there. He was fresh out of the academy. He delivered this child and brought a life into the world. It's something nobody talks about all the time. It's, oh, they did this wrong. They did that wrong. This officer, fresh out of the academy, delivered a baby on the ring highway, brought life into the world.
Dang.
I want to bring him out, Jonathan Verity, from Suffolk County, and say congratulations, instead of just talking about negatives.
Yeah, you're gonna get me
every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I'm gonna find something.
You're gonna get me choked up before we even get started. That's amazing. Stormy. Yeah. This stuff books is written about. Stormy, rainy night, woman in labor, officer
side of the road.
It says, hey, y'all, we're gonna have to do this here, and he does it. That is amazing. My hat's off to you, officer.
Amen. That's how we can go both sides of this coin every week if I have to, and I'm going to find one every week.
I kind of like that. We're starting to show off on a happy note.
Yeah.
On another happy note, we have a great guest this evening. He is coming from us from Arkansas. His name is David Parks. He is a veteran. Served he was a mechanic on FOB Warhorse, and if anybody's been to Iraq, that was in the Diyala province in Bakuba. And after the military, went to college, got a degree in psychology, and got his minor in criminal justice. But what I really want to talk to him about this evening, if he's open to talking about it, he was at the University of Arkansas in Fort Smith. He did a research study on the correlation of alcohol and PTSD. Sorry. Now, I know a lot of our listeners are veterans out there. They probably have various forms and levels of PTS, along with moral trauma. And a lot of us, me included, self-medicated with alcohol. And, it's a bad thing. So, luckily, I'm out of it right now. And that's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. So without any further, and he's also a gearhead, and unlike me, or like me, he has vehicles in his yard that do not run. So we're kind of brothers on that note. So without any further ado, let's get David Parks in here.
Good evening, David. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, gentlemen?
We are fine. Hey, we gave the nickel edition of your biography. So why don't you go ahead and fill in the blanks, start from wherever you want, and bring us up to date.
Well, the gearhead part of it, I'll start all the way back. I was taught as a gearhead by my grandfather, really young. He just threw me under the hood as a little boy and said, hey, here, start taking this apart for me. He had a shop when I was a little kid. And so he would teach me. And then, growing up, they did racing at little local roundy round track. And so I would help out and do what I knew, what I could learn. And
what I could as a little boy, and growing up, it just kind of advanced and kept going and getting, into the cars more and more as I got older. Of course, as we become teenagers, we get the bigger toys and faster toys, and we do dumber things. I didn't join the military right out of high school. Don't know why. I probably should have. I waited until, I don't know, mid-20s. Quite a few people have, I guess, done that. And when I joined, I didn't know what to do. So I did the one thing I knew how to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was be a mechanic. I didn't know anything else. I didn't want to go be a bullet sponge. I wanted to do something else. So I decided I was going to be a mechanic. And of course, after basic and AIT, the first place they wanted to send me was Korea.
Mm-hmm.
So spent my first year in South Korea. Come back, they send me to Fort Lewis, Washington, with the 2nd Infantry Division, and that's when I finally got to deploy to Iraq in 2009, and ended up on FOB Warhorse, and that's when the fun ensued.
Yes.
So
yes, indeed.
The stories of all the fun and chaos ensued with just 2ID in general. So a lot of my good times and my friends and stuff were with my 4 years with 2nd Infantry Division. So a lot of good friends, a lot of good times with 2nd Infantry Division. A lot of my good brothers and stuff come from there. A lot of good friends and family there is what I like to call them. They're family. So ended up at FOB Warhorse of all places. Interestingly enough, same time as you.
Yeah.
as we discussed a little bit, and that was kind of interesting. I didn't even notice that. And had a lot of fun stories there. While I deployed in Iraq, I ended up breaking my hand, and somebody kept dropping the ball. I ended up not getting evac'd out to Balad to get it looked at right away. And so month and a half after I broke it, they finally got me to Balad to have it set.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of having it set, they just ended up putting it into a cast and sent me back to my unit. And of course, they're trying to send me home. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not sending me home. I'm staying here. I wasn't allowing them to send me home because, it wasn't going to happen. And, then so I kept walking around FOB Warhorse, and I've got this nice big cast on my arm. And come to find out, and this is one of the funny parts about the cast, and of course, we're in a war zone. I'm walking around with a cast that glows in the dark. FOB Warhorse in the middle of a war zone. So screw your
Why would
PT
they
belt.
put a
I'm
glow
not
in the
doing
dark?
dark cast.
Why would they put a glow in the dark cast on you?
That in all their infinite wisdom, I have no idea.
Why not just paint the targets as here I am? Yeah.
That's exactly what I did. I have
It's
no
kind
idea.
of ridiculous.
I thought that was the most hilarious thing in the world. I used to walk around with waving my arm around, just going, "Hey, look at me! Here's your target." just, being that jerk. Because that was me. You know what? If I'm gonna be the asshole of the bunch, I might as well be the asshole of the bunch.
Yeah.
Take that thing and run with it.
And I really was. I was the goofball. As anybody knows, with a bunch of mechanics, when you're in a maintenance unit, you have what we call the Ooh Shiny crew.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ooh Shiny crew is generally your guys that are a bunch of ADHDers that are just stuck together and are hard to maintain. Well, that was my crew. And I was the leader of them. So, and I wasn't the worst of them. I just was the one that could happen to manage them the best.
You was a wrangler.
I was the wrangler.
Yeah.
I completely understand. Yeah.
I had one that needed I had one that you just about needed a GPS tracker on him. And then I had one that you could pretty much put a cowbell on him. And as long as you had a bell on him, you could pretty much find him. So
we had one. I knew that I could find him at least once a week because we had some maintenance guys that lived behind us, and we set up a server in the maintenance bay and a bunch of desks. And every Saturday night, starting at about 7 o'clock, everybody would go in, plug in, and play Call of Duty until about 3 in the morning. And we always knew he would show up there, so we could keep track of it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. There's always at least 2 or 3 of those.
Yes.
And well, and the funny part about going to Iraq was when I actually deployed, they actually sent me over on the plane into country with a M4 that was busted. And I tried to tell them right away, I'm like, hey, something's wrong with this thing. I'm like, hey, look. And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. It's supposed to do that. And I'm sitting there going, no, the barrel doesn't move 1/8 of an inch either direction here.
Yeah.
It's more like a 1/16 of an inch, And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Of course, they have us go do the, shoot a range to make sure we can target and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, no, this isn't right. Something's wrong. And I know that I'm aiming the exact same spot. And of course, all my rounds are like here. And I'm like, no, something's wrong. Well, eventually I find my buddy Mongo, who anybody named Mongo in the military is always this big old giant 6 foot, almost 7 foot tall guy. That's big, giant redheaded dude. And that was our Mongo. And he worked in our armament section. And I walked over to him. I said, dude, I keep telling them this M4 is busted, dude, and they won't listen. He takes my M4, he grabs the barrel, and he just turns it just ever so slightly. He goes, yeah, don't do this again because this thing's going to blow up in your face.
Yes.
So he immediately takes me with my M4, and he's only a specialist. Walks up to the first sergeant and goes, he doesn't need to fire this again. This thing is busted. I'm like, nice. So I'm walking into country with an M4 that is pretty much useless. And my buddy Mongo, he's got a saw. I said, dude, Mongo, if we have a problem, I'm standing beside you because you're going to spray and pray, and I'm just going to try to put rounds down range.
Exactly. Hey, we got a couple questions popped in.
First one's from Judio Quadra 49. They want to know, what was the toughest challenge you faced during your deployment into Iraq? Thank you, Judio Quadra 49.
You know, the toughest challenge for me, more or less, was the isolation from family. Really didn't have a whole lot of communication time.
Well,
That
back
was
then it was a
most
lot
of it for
different
me.
than how it is now with everybody walking up their
Yeah,
smartphones.
yeah.
You had to wait for time back then to get on a computer or something. So yeah, I can understand that.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Because it definitely isn't like now where you can definitely jump on and it's easy. You know, you could probably get 30 or 40 soldiers together to get a bunch of Haji net and maybe get enough to get a little bit of internet if you're
Yeah.
lucky. If you're lucky. And even then, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get enough internet to be able to talk to anybody. It's just,
Yeah. And I found out there at Warhorse, it wasn't real good. And
no,
now
it was
my tour,
hideous.
my tour that I did in Baghdad had real good internet. And then when I was at Taji, there was two of us went together and got some really good internet. And so, yeah, that was fine.
Yeah.
We could communicate. But once we moved to Warhorse, that was off.
Oh, yeah. And it was ridiculously expensive.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
They saw us coming a mile away. So, yeah, Warhorse was something else. It was its own little world out there on middle of nowhere. So,
got another question that popped in there asking about your weapon.
Is that Sergeant Major Booker for president?
Sergeant Major Booker for president.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said you were given a weapon to go in the country with. Why did you not have a weapon before deployment that you qualified on?
Good question on that one. They changed the weapon right before deployment. I had been previously qualified on another M4, and as soon as we deployed, they decided to give me a new M4. I don't know why they didn't give me the weapon that I had previously qualified on. They had given it to another soldier. So that one is a good question.
That's not a normal thing. They just you have your weapon, you keep your weapon. I don't know. I was never military.
I don't know. That was I did, and I have no idea why they did it. They just decided to reorganize everything and change everything around. And when they did, everybody got reassigned new firearm. It was so dumb.
I was
didn't make any sense.
I was lucky enough that I kept for the 9 years I was in my unit. I kept the same M4 and I kept the same sidearm the whole time that I was at that unit. So,
well, we went through leadership changes like water.
Yes.
So it was bad.
So let's get off this for a little bit. I want to talk about, we're going to get back to the gearhead stuff a little bit, but I want to talk about this study you did between the correlation between alcohol and PTSD, because
yes,
I think that's going to help a lot of our listeners. And we're going to talk a little bit on it. And I'm going to have some words to say, and then we'll talk some more on it. Take all kind of questions.
All righty. So while in college, I as my final study for my last few semesters, I did a correlation study with me and a partner, and we did a survey study where we reached out to multiple veterans, and we did this through internet. We reached out to multiple veterans out within the community, through Facebook, it was just reached out, and what we did is we sent them out a questionnaire. It was completely anonymous. There were no names, no numbers, no nothing. It was just completely anonymous. So there was no way that anybody could have been identified. And so we would ask them a series of questions, and the questions would kind of lead to some results as to this test, as to what we were trying to see if we could come up with a correlation. And what we were trying to find out is if there was a correlation between the use of alcohol and the symptoms of PTSD, namely the specific result of PTSD in aggression.
Okay.
And that was the primary specific symptom that we were looking for, because we had to narrow it down to a specific symptom. We couldn't just go for overall PTSD because of the fact that if we did, that's too many symptoms to test for.
Yes.
In a single result study. So, and due to our questioning, we also found out that there is a secondary correlation in there, which was kind of interesting. Now, we did find that, yes, there's a correlation between alcohol use, or as some people will call it, abuse, but alcohol use and consumption and aggression of PTSD, and those two symptoms. So the more that somebody will drink, it is more likely that they are going to be aggressive in their PTSD symptoms.
Okay. So just let me lay the groundwork here. So if I'm self-medicating to sleep, to stop the nightmares, to do this, do that.
Yes.
And I drink this, and I drink alcohol, it's going to heighten, but because I know with PTS, you're going to, a lot of times people, even when they're sober, they lash out at things.
Yes. Yes, they do.
I know that all too well.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, drinking would intensify that. Is that what you found?
Yes.
Okay.
That is what we found.
Okay.
That is what we found.
All right. Whoa.
And
the producer just kind of crossed my eyes there. Thanks, Rich.
I saw that.
Yeah, not for nothing. I talk to people all the time about stuff like this, but some people, it's weird. Say I could drink vodka all day and I'm fine and I'm the nicest person.
Mm-hmm.
Once I go to the brown liquor, I become violent.
We did not
And
find
that's just a normal person.
types
You
of
know,
it.
I can't drink brown without going. I'm like, okay, I never understood that. And now you're saying with PTSD, PTSD, I understand alcohol makes you do things, and I can understand that makes you. But I don't understand how the normal everyday idiot like me, I can drink this and it doesn't bother me. If I drink that, I become violent. I'm like, I don't get that. I can understand maybe you get sick, but not violent.
That's why I don't age that special water.
Right. Yeah. That's about right. So now the secondary correlation that we did find in there, which was rather interesting, was the less likely that a soldier or a veteran was to seek mental assistance through the VA, the more likely they were to show symptoms
Okay.
and the symptoms were to be heightened as well.
Okay. Now, of course, you said that you did this on totally anonymous blind study. Now, did you ever have
Yes.
anybody come in for in-person interviews, or have?
Never.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And
Not a
let me
single
tell you, from personal experience, what I remember and what Mrs. Holland has shared with me, there was a tipping point in there, and I'm not saying you are being threatened, but maybe you feel a little threatened for some reason or whatever. I had a tipping point in there where I would become extremely violent.
Yeah.
And yeah,
yes.
I can tell you, yeah, your research is true. There is a correlation there. But thank God that's over. Because
yeah. And I can attest to it myself. Now the funny part is mine came after the study. And it's really interesting that it did, because it took me a little bit to realize that I was becoming a member of my own study after I did the study.
And you was probably like doing the study. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing. This is not going to affect me.
Yeah. And then when it happened to me, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm becoming my study. I'm becoming exactly what my study was. So, yeah. My life had just turned completely upside down and everything went completely haywire. And then all of a sudden, it was me.
Now let me ask a question. I don't want to really sound like a dick or anything, but was it there the whole time and you just noticed it after the study?
No, because the whole time, like during a study, most of the time I would probably maybe drink a couple fingers of a whiskey and smoke a cigar. That would be the most I would ever drink. When it got bad, I would go to the bar. I would probably spend $70, $80 at the bar, between beer and whiskey in a night. And I would do this 3-4 times a week. So, no, there's a big difference.
Okay. It was just a question. It was in my head. I had to ask it. Otherwise, my head would have been out.
Right. Oh, I understand. And then I had whiskey at home too. So, yeah, and I had whiskey at home too. So,
my wife and I had this discussion. We have a cabinet in the kitchen, and it's full of alcohol that we hardly ever touch. He's like, it takes up 80% of the shelf, and they just sit there.
I've got
There's
a bottle
times where I
a friend of ours.
I will pour a drink and I'll be happy, and then it just lays there.
I've got a bottle sitting here that a friend of mine, my fiance, brought over, and I haven't touched it yet. It's been sitting over here for over a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I had one sitting on the shelf here behind me that hadn't been opened yet, and it'd been sitting there for a couple years, and I packaged it up, sent it to my nephew for a housewarming gift. So, but had a real good friend of mine one day quit drinking, and I said, brother, I'll quit with you. And
it's almost 11 months now.
Yes, it has been a while. got another question that came in, and then it's been 269 days.
There you go.
Well, that's good.
All right. At Money, Mimi Kim wants to know what inspired your research on PTSD and alcohol-related aggression. Thank you, Money Kim.
What inspired it was seeing a lot of my brothers going through a lot of issues with their PTSD, them drinking themselves silly, and just withering away. I've lost more of my brothers since getting back from Iraq than I have in Iraq.
Yes. I can probably truthfully say that as well. Yeah. And over here, we can actually do something to affect change. And, yeah, you can save lives over there, but if you can save them, you can save them here before they do something stupid and think that they got to solve their problems. And that's going to take us in. We're going to take a little pause here. That's going to take us into my little public service announcement that I do every week. Misfit Nation, we love you. And if you're out there tonight, you're feeling down, pick up that telephone, dial 988. If you're a veteran, take option 1. They will talk to you. They will get you the help that you need. I did not know anyone personally that has done this, but now I do. And they got them the help that they need. And I still have them in my life. And for that, I am thankful. If you don't want to call them and you just want to talk to somebody, you can call a friend. But if you don't have a friend that you want to talk to, afraid you might be judged or something, get on your email, type in jake@themisfitnation.com, steven@themisfitnation.com, or info@themisfitnation.com. Leave your phone number. We'll call you back. No judgment, nothing but an ear. That's something that I got plenty of. It is time, and I definitely have time to listen to you. And remember, tomorrow is too beautiful of a day for you not to be in it. So we want to have you here because we love you, and keep trucking on and get help if you need it. Thank you. All right. And that I have yet to have anybody email and send a phone number, but and I'm kind of, if they're good and they don't have to do that, that's good. I tell you what, if they do, we are here for them. Now we got the first.
And I've told all of my brothers. I've told all my brothers and sisters that I've ever deployed with, been with in any of my units. Look, if you need if you need an ear, I'm here. Always.
Always, anytime. And we have our first car question.
Oh.
Love a good cock wants to know, how did working on cars become part of your healing process? Thank you for that question. Love a good cock.
So,
all right, kids.
Cars have always, cars have been part of my life, literally my whole life. Now, they've been part of my healing because they keep me centered.
Mm-hmm.
So, being able to do some wrenching, help some of my friends with some of their issues with their cars. I'm part of the car culture in this area. I am, believe it or not, I am part of the car culture across the United States because I have friends all across the U.S. that are part of some of these car clubs that I hang out with every year.
Mm.
You know, I have friends that I may see once or twice a year because of the car clubs I go to or the car shows that I go to.
Yep.
You know, so
Now,
you know,
what kind of cars do you like playing with?
well, I have a thing for different things. I have my hot rods. I have my uh, currently I have a mini truck. I have a Chevy S10 that is on air ride suspension and kind of wrap rotted out. Um, I just gave up my '86 IROC Z that I had. Um, I let it go to somebody else that would love it a little bit more than me because it sat around a little more than it got driven. It
Here in
was
New
more.
Jersey, we call that the Me Too car. Oh, you got an
It
IROC?
was,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. Well, I had I had it. It was set up more like a race car than it was a street car,
Hmm.
and it spent more time sitting because I kept breaking things than, and I spent more time trying to fix it. So it was time to let somebody else go love it more than me. So I decided to get something else. So I have uh, uh, me and my fiance have a 64 Triumph Herald that we're getting in the process of rebuilding, and we're going to be doing a lot of custom work on that. I do a lot of custom fabrication and stuff like that with cars,
And
kind
so
of
you don't
resto
just
mod
do engines,
type
you do
stuff.
body work and everything too.
I don't necessarily do the finishing body work.
Oh, okay.
I get it roughed in, and then I send it to a buddy of mine, and he does all the finalization and
Hey,
paint and body
great.
work. So
Hmm.
so um, I also have another truck. I have another S10 that's up at the top of my property that's sitting up there waiting for me to go tear it all completely apart for me to build a whole frame for it and suspension and all that stuff. And I got a big giant motor sitting in the shed waiting to go on the chassis and just build a completely off the wall custom ride for it.
I had a friend
So
of mine. I had a friend of mine that had an S10 that he used for a drag truck,
yeah.
and we pulled it in the garage, pulled everything down off of it, and he put $10,000 into that engine, transmission, and rear end on it to gain 0.3 seconds. And
So
I was just helping him
that
turn wrenches, but man, that was
yeah, 0.3
that
of a second for 10 grand. That's kind of slow. But no, I my other S10 is going to be nothing but a show toy, but it's going to
got it.
be it's going to be an obnoxiously loud show toy with a big giant blower on it. Uh,
Nice,
headers out the headers out the fenders. So and it's a
nice.
big giant, big block motor, and so it's
It
meant to
was like,
shock and awe and have a good.
did you stick with 350 or did you go up to like 396 or?
No, actually, I went with a 440 cubic inch Dodge
Oh,
big block.
nice.
I didn't even stay in the Chevy realm.
I understand.
Just for
I completely understand. A couple more questions pop in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Rebel Karma wants to know what advice do you have for veterans struggling to find purpose after service? Thank you, Rebel Karma.
well, the thing with finding purpose, you really have to find what you love to do, and some people it does take a little bit of time. I really, for me, it was, yeah, I love to help my friends and I love to help other veterans. Um, I'm all over the car community. I've got other veterans that I help a lot of. all the time that are parts of, they're not necessarily in the car community, but they build cars. They have huge stashes of extremely expensive cars.
Mhm.
One of my buddies, him and his father are both Marine Corps veterans, and they collect Mustangs, split window Corvettes. I mean, just they've got, the last I counted, the dad had somewhere around, he's only got about 5 built. He's got 30 some odd bodies, and I don't know how many other parts just sitting around. And then the son has 7 built, and then the son is the one that has the split window Corvette,
Mm-hmm.
and then the son has a whole bunch of other toys.
Wow.
And they're both also lawyers, so it's
So they can
just,
afford to buy toys and play with toys.
and what they'll do is every now and then they'll call me and say, hey, can you pick up a part for me? Sure.
Yeah.
Where am I going? So I'll run, get a part, and they'll ask me to do some work on one of the cars or something every now and then, or come look at something. I've built Subarus for them. I've done all kinds of just random stuff, I know tricks to all kinds of random cars. It is so weird.
I tell you what, I'll tell you about a trick that I learned, and I'm going to kind of get into my stupidity here just a little bit. I was changing the water pump on a 6-liter, and I couldn't get the fan to clear.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it
Royal
out. Couldn't
pain
get
in the
it out.
butt.
So I get on YouTube, and there's this old guy. He's probably about 80. Been working on diesel engines since they was invented. And he says, well, you came here to this page because you're having trouble getting your fan to clear when you're replacing your water pump. And I'm like, well, yeah, I am. He took his pair of side cutters, and he goes up between the radiator and the top of the front clip and starts clipping zip ties. And where that secondary battery cable goes, they've got it zip tied between the radiator up there. He pulled it out, laid the radiator back, and the fan comes right out. And I'm like, I've been working on this for 3 damn hours. That's all I had to do. So,
Yep. You find all kinds of quirky little tricks like that.
Every mechanic these days.
Hey, YouTube is, I tell you what, if there's nothing else on the internet that's worth a damn, YouTube mechanic and videos are it.
I'm not saying what I do or anything, because it's something we don't talk about here, but every day I'm on YouTube looking it up.
So I did, a buddy of mine, another veteran buddy of mine, had bought a Mazda RX-7.
Mm-hmm.
He had bought this high performance rotary motor and, the Impossible Dorito motor. And
yes,
well, he wanted to upgrade the ignition system on it because the factory ignition is just not that great. So to do so, most people switch to LS smart coils, GM smart coils. Well, to do so, you have to isolate signal. Well, the problem is you're going from, what Mazda has is a ignition module setup.
Yeah.
It has a box that controls the entire signal system. Well, you have to take that box out. Well, in doing so, you have to figure out which of those wires is your signal that's now going to control those smart coils.
Yes.
And there was nowhere, YouTube, internet, nothing, to tell you where. Now, when I was doing this, I had a YouTube channel that I was running at the time, which has been defunct for a few years now. And I went ahead and posted a video of exactly how you put smart coils on a Mazda rotary motor because it was ridiculous.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but now thanks to you,
It took
somebody else
us,
knows how to do it.
yeah, because it took us 3 days to do it. 3
Yeah.
days to do the wiring on it.
Now,
And then I custom made wires and all that stuff for it.
since you are a car guy, I am going to if you got a pen, write it down. If not, I will email it to you.
Yeah.
There is a guy in North Carolina, out in the middle of
Mhm.
nowhere, North Carolina,
That
and
sounds about right.
he runs an organization called Warriors in Motion.
Okay.
And what they do is they get together, they wrench on cars and build race cars and take them around tracks, and veterans get to race the cars they work on.
Nice.
And guy's name is Carl, and I got to meet him one night. Great guy. He's an amazing guy. But I think that would be, if you get in contact with Carl, and yeah, Rockingham is the home track. That's the one that they use.
Okay.
So if you ever want to do hot laps at Rockingham, you look up Carl and
That would be
Warriors in
fun.
Motion.
That would be
yeah,
fun.
it would be. Yes, it would be. I'm still trying to figure out how we can get work to send us down. We need to go to Fort Bragg for something and be free a weekend. They're going to be racing. But
I've already told the fiance I need to make it down to Bradenton, Florida, to go see Cletus.
And I have a guy up in northern Washington too, an old retired EOD guy that's got
Okay.
after action racing, and they do the same thing. And
Okay.
it's he retired out of Yakima, moved a little further north, and that's what he does. So
Okay. Yeah, I still got friends out in Washington.
All right.
Yeah, one of my buddies, when he got out, he stayed out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that do. I mean, it's pretty country out there. I'm a
it's
big
not
fan.
bad. It's just wasn't for me. I'm a Southern
Say
boy.
no more. Say no more. But hey, you get west of you get east of the mountains, it's pretty cool out there.
Oh, I know it is. I've been there. Before I even joined the military, I ended up I worked telecom for a short period of time. This was when cricket was first setting up. And I ended up in Spokane.
Yeah.
Of course, I ended up in Spokane in February.
But yeah, that's a little bit different than Spokane.
That's the worst time of year.
July.
Yes, exactly. Spokane in February is when you don't want to be there.
I completely understand. David, this hour has...
Well, we have a follow-up question I want to throw out there real quick.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Right. Sergeant Major Booker for President wants to know, or is asking, this weapon thing has been bothering the hell out of me. What was your unit number and what year was
it? It was Bravo
really...
Company 2906. And that was in 2009.
Sergeant Major Booker for President. I hope that helps you there, buddy.
Yeah.
And then one more question, and then Jake can move on here. 30 Cigarettes MW25 wants to know how can friends and family better support veterans dealing with PTSD? Thank you, 30 Cigarettes MW25.
So friends and family supporting it. I know that my family did quite well when I came back. I don't know what resources my now ex-wife got a hold of, but she actually did pretty good at first. Of course, things happened and everything went south, but that was back then. So, but I mean, she did okay. My fiance, she's amazing. Uh, I mean, she matches my crazy. It's perfect. So, um, we do really well together. Uh, you friends and family just need to understand that, you know, you can't change the veteran. Just because he got out doesn't mean that the military is going to leave him. His mindset is him.
Mm-hmm.
What he was trained to do is going to stay. It doesn't just leave. That is part of his life. That is who he was. That's who he's going to be for the rest of his life. And that's something that the family and friends need to understand about a soldier. Just because he got out doesn't mean that that's going to leave him, because that will be him. And I think that's the hardest part. And I get told that I don't know how many times, frequently. Uh, uh, well, you're no longer in the military. Can't you just change it? No, I can't.
You can't just click your head and say,
programmed.
okay, it's not there.
Yeah, it's not there. It's the way I see things now. It's just I can't change the programming. You know, military spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to program me this way.
But
Yes.
but you can get help. You know, I was on
Yes.
another show the other day, and the host of that show, his wife had to turn around and tell him, if you don't go see somebody and talk about this, we're getting divorced. And
Yeah.
it snapped in his head. He went and he got help, and he's doing better.
Yes.
We've heard
You
this
can always
story
go get help.
that you need to get that smack in the head. You need to get that reality check saying, yes, there is something wrong. Let's do something about it. And you guys are
Yes.
stubborn and
And
don't do it. That's what the problem is. You need to be
Yes.
smacked in the head. You need to be pushed.
Because there's a lot of coping
Yes.
tools out there that do not involve drugs and alcohol, and which, you know,
Exactly.
that's a
Exactly. For
the
me, mine is wrenching. It's always wrenching.
yeah.
You know, for another person, it could be going out to the range and shooting a gun at the range. And yes, I know it's dangerous, but that's what it could be for somebody.
Yes.
It could be going out and riding a horse. It could be going and working with animals, you know, in a farm. It could be anything like that. You know, who knows? That person needs to find out what works best for them.
Yeah. Find something that calms you and just
Exactly.
And the person I was talking about does podcasts. Podcasting helps them. Talking to other people, bringing other people in, introducing himself to other people is straightening him out. That's one of the things that's helpful.
And that's
and I can say Stephen, it's helped me. It truly has.
Yeah, talking
but
about
you,
it.
like my brother, like the guy I'm talking about, all had it in your head that nothing was wrong, and somebody needs to tell you, hey, by the way, you're a little screwed up. You need to go, fix this. It's not something you did voluntarily.
Even
Mrs. Holland
like
does
me,
a good job of that.
Right.
I know I'm screwed up, and I tell people, look,
denial is a big thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Well,
So,
David, before we pop off of here, first of all, if somebody wants to contact you and ask you some questions about your study or about wrenching, wants to get into wrenching, how do they contact you?
best way to get a hold of me would be through my email, and that would be shaggy9212@gmail.com.
Shaggy9212@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, the tough question.
Yep.
We ask this of all of our guests. What are 3 things, non-negotiable, that David has to do every morning to make his day complete?
To make my day complete, I must wake up next to my beautiful woman every morning, love her before she leaves, because she leaves early in the morning.
Okay.
I get up. When I do get up, I have to take care of my animals. I love my animals more than anything in the world. They're, you know, they're something that I've always made sure that I've loved everything about. My dogs, my cats, all of them. I will go out, love on them, pet them, feed them, make sure they're taken care of first thing. Next thing I do is I pour me a nice big cup of coffee and sit and enjoy the morning.
Okay.
That is it. That is how I do it.
All right. Well, Misfit Nation, this has been David Parks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It has been great. And we know if you're struggling out there, hey, you need to get out there. You need to reach out. We love y'all.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.